All
Hello.
right.
Hi, Frida.
Hi, Francesca.
So I'm very happy to see you again after a while and
After a while, you too.
after a while now. Yeah, so just like as I told you in the email, what I wanted to do is like to gather some interviews about experiences of using photography in therapy. I had
Mhm.
the chance to work with different therapists around the world now, and you are my first international therapist I
Really?
interview.
All
And
right. Okay.
yes, so I just wanted to know how are you doing in Denmark?
hmm
And how are you using photography in therapy? Which kind of clients do you have, and which kind of techniques do you apply, and whatever you want to tell us.
Okay. Well, first of all, I have the same job as when we started. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a, I'm a psychologist in a clinic where everyone who comes in gets their therapy paid by their insurance, which for me brings a lot of freedom. I have in my work,
Mm-hmm.
I have to do it within 7 sessions. When
Mm-hmm.
they come in with a problem, stress, trauma, whatever. It has to be a specific work because it's short-term therapy. But
Okay,
we
makes
get the
sense.
freedom to choose the methods that we like. So in that way, I've been able to experiment on, well, both which, as a psychologist, which theories are good for me and which ones I think work, but also experimenting with the techniques I learned from you.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't come in to me because they've heard about phototherapy.
Oh, really? Wow.
They come to me because I'm a psychologist in this clinic and they get it paid for through your insurance, and I get to decide which kind of therapy we do. So it
Okay.
was actually a very good platform to experiment which people do I actually end up suggesting that we should use this method.
Okay,
um,
but like platform, you mean that it's an online therapy or it's no in presence?
it's in presence. Sometimes it's online, but usually it's in presence.
Okay.
um, and so that's like, for me, that's like my next step to see when can I get people who come for that, because it does put some restraints on how much I use it in my everyday life. Um,
Right.
but when they come, I've seen that the people I find it most useful with to use phototherapy is, well, young people where
Mm-hmm.
working with art or like techniques isn't too abstract for them. There's some people that this is not the best method. I think they would never ever make an assignment at home. I can feel that
Sure.
quite fast, that they wouldn't collect on pictures because even looking at them was so new. And
Mm-hmm.
also depending on their state of mind, if they're very burdened by their life situation and stuff, they need to have some kind of degree of agency, or like um, feel very intrigued by the method. So usually I say I try to promote this method because in the end it's what I want to use the most. I would like to have only phototherapy. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I try it out with them, even though they might seem a bit skeptic. And then I can very easily tell if they want to move forward because they gotten so intrigued by how they opened up and how it helped them get in touch with some emotional uh, like knowledge about themselves. Um, so I usually try it just to test it out, because even the people I think maybe they're not the right person,
Mm-hmm.
but it can also surprise me. So I've started like, I try to get out of my prejudice as, oh, this doesn't seem like a person who wants to work with photographs, but it can actually be anybody. So I usually use photo-projective to test it out in the first session either way.
Mhm. In the first session, well, you have eight, so you cannot
Exactly. I
like
can't really
stay
use
there.
too much time. No.
No.
And even if we don't move forward and they don't make their assignment for many reasons, I feel that even using the method in the first session helps them open up, create a more vulnerable and present um, line of sessions. Because usually they wouldn't have opened up the same way for me if it was just a verbal conversation or verbal therapy.
Mhm.
Um, so I feel like that's what it does, even with the ones that don't choose to want to work even more with it or thought it was a bit difficult. It does
Mhm.
create actually a more successful 7 sessions, because the first one they opened up way more than they would have if I just asked them
Okay.
questions.
Okay. Do you think that somehow it helps to the therapeutic alliance
Yeah.
to start the therapeutic alliance, looking together at the photographs
Mhm.
and discuss
Mhm.
them?
Yeah, it works. It makes it stronger because they, first of all, in the room, many of them have never gone to a psychologist before.
Mm.
So they come in here and they see me as the expert
Mhm.
on their emotional life, on their trauma. They want me basically to solve their. That's the basic problem. Is like they come to the room and they think that I should solve the issues they have in life. So getting to know this method, it gives them agency.
Mhm.
They are like, they actually decide the direction we go in emotionally, not my questions or my prejudice or whatever, or what I know from the problem.
Okay, nice.
And
Interesting.
this feeling of agency, like they get surprised by, okay, it's actually me who have to do the work, or it's me who I can actually get in contact with what is the real issue. Because sometimes they come in with one issue and then we do the phototherapy and they figure out, actually it's something else that they've been
Uh-huh.
suppressing. And that kind of experience makes them trust me more, but also trust themselves in the process, or give them more motivation to do the work for these only 7 sessions that we have, because they got in contact with something that they really needed to come in contact with. Yeah, I think it does
Nice.
enhance the alliance, because I tell them I'm not the expert.
Mm.
I know many ways and many things, and I will give you the tools if you need them, but I'm not the
Yeah.
main person who can fix your problems. I can only help you out.
Okay, thank you. I like it. I like to think of the agents, being able to understand that they are the protagonists,
Hmm.
characters.
Yeah.
And okay, so tell us more about the photo-projective, like which kind of prompts do you give? Which kind of photographs do you show?
Mm.
How many photographs do you ask them to choose? How do they have to move them around?
I have like the set I started out with you, and then I've been adding.
Uh-huh.
Um,
How's it going?
it's going good. That's how,
Okay.
like, whenever I see Kate, we're like, okay, now I have to gather them. Sometimes it's some work that I don't do, but it's doing good. And I I start out with having them to choose one picture they like or one picture they don't like, and
Mhm.
then go move very, very simple
Mhm.
steps forward. Sometimes if they cannot choose between two, then I allow them to choose three or four or whatever, but usually is the two.
Mhm.
Um, and that kind of creates the whole conversation of what they want to work on, or what they want to focus on in these conversations. And
Okay.
it gives me clues as to what their actual difficulties are, as well as a psychologist looking forward. Um, and it's been very easy with the people who get very attached to this method to work, and get this assignments.
Mhm.
Um, Usually the ones that I found, okay, this is for you, or this is like, this would suit you as well, is like the when they have to collect 10 pictures on a topic that they
Mhm.
realize this is actually what's the main problem is,
Uh-huh.
or the 5 pictures taken of you by someone else you like and the 5 you don't like.
Okay.
And And those are like, they're very thematic, I feel like, to people who come in and have relational issues or identity problems, or where it's like a lot of problems with the self, to explore that. And then also a couple of times I've used self-portraits. Those are for the ones I feel who are like the third step, like where we use most of the sessions with the photographs as a tool somehow, even also if they haven't made their home assignment, then we talk, like the language has opened up, and we
Okay.
talk in the same framework as in the first session. So in that way, it can be both if they have a lot of motivation and energy to do it, but also if they don't have, but it created a language that they felt they could be part of. And I
Mm.
use the words that they use in the beginning when they try to describe how they feel inside, because it can become very too academic as a psychologist, and for many people who doesn't have the language from their upbringing to talk about their inner life or what emotions they have, when I use my vocabulary, it can seem alienating.
Okay.
But when they come in the room and they, like, I say all these big words and they don't know what half of it means, even though I scale it down, I don't talk very academic at all. But for people who really are alienated from their own emotional life and don't have words for it, I use the words that they use when they use the pictures about their own life, and that makes them, uh, I feel, faster get to know themselves when we
Mhm.
use their words, and then I can add on later to say what you're saying here is connected to this experience or way of being or whatever. Um, and I feel sometimes the method of bring back 10 pictures of this topic we have to talk about, or pictures you like or don't like, it can become like a fusion of family albums, and then
Mhm.
because sometimes
Exactly.
it is about family, or they end up coming with their whole, or like whole array of family in the pictures, and then it becomes like a fusion of these two methods.
Techniques. Absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah, because then it wasn't the whole family that they brought, but they brought very important family members emotionally, and then we, like, I use some of the methods from the family albums, but not all of them, and not the putting them in front of you,
Uh-huh.
but the same questions and the same way of working
Okay.
with pictures. Actually, I found that the family album, I've never really used the full method,
Uh-huh.
um,
But
but
you,
part of it,
uh-huh.
yeah,
Well, I do understand when like sometimes the techniques go together. Like you
yeah,
ask something and they come up with another topic, and then like you have like mind with the mind you have to switch
yeah,
the technique, and it's okay. Oh, we're talking about family here,
yeah,
and so it's something else.
yeah.
Mhm. Okay, great. Lana, I'm super interested in your work. Like, first of all, like, my first thought was like how the techniques can kind of really adapt to the short-term therapy,
Mm,
because really you have to focus on a topic, and um, and it's very fast, no, photography.
yeah,
So
it
can allow
is.
you to deep dive in those
Mhm,
topics.
mhm.
Mhm. And then also, oh yes, I had a question. Like, how do you face the situations where the clients don't bring you the photographs?
When they don't bring
Is
it,
yes, is one of the
uh,
major difficulties that usually therapists have.
yeah. Well, I kind of like, I get a little sad for this, like for the
The client.
sessions, but it's
Mhm.
for them, but because they don't have an unlimited time with me either. Um,
Mhm.
but it's the same as to when I work with other methods, and then their homework is to, do these 5 things so they can sleep at least 6 hours at night, because, and then they haven't done it.
Okay.
Because it's the same where they come in and they haven't done the work to be able to progress in the way they need to get better in life.
Mhm.
But then it also, when they haven't done a homework for example, not pick the 10 pictures, it always says something about where they are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Like it says something about what is their problem. So it can also give cues to, are we working the right way? Because I'm not supposed to give you assignments that are too much for you either.
Mm-hmm.
Or um, or is there something else that happened that makes it difficult for you to do the assignment? Is it because you're not sleeping? Is it because you're not able to say no? Or like, can you have the structure in your life where you achieve the things that you want if they're
Mm-hmm.
really invested in this assignment? And then we talk about that, and I kind of like try to dive into the why of not having brought these 10 pictures, and then I'm trying to make them then do it to the next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you overcome the frustration and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
what brings you like what means for the person to you and for the therapy then. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, great. Anything would you like to add?
Um, what else have I done? I feel like um the ones where it has had the most impact
Mm-hmm.
is young people or older
Mm-hmm.
who come from a very abusive childhood,
Okay.
where their emotional life is as blocked as something else can be
Right.
because of the coping mechanisms they've made from childhood to not express feelings. And they're actually the ones who come in with the most problems. And then I remember about the time where I started learning phototherapy from you, I already had some of these clients, and I was talking to my supervisors of, because I'm still a young psychologist, I'm like, okay, so what am I not learning yet? What am I not good enough? Because it's very difficult to get them to open up, and it's not changing their mental health. They're getting worse and worse. And for them, this method, because they couldn't cry, they couldn't, they were
Mm,
these smiley people who have a lot of pain but cannot express anything.
here.
Um, and for them, looking through the pictures, I found it the most strong because all of a sudden and very fast, they could cry and they could break down and they got connected to memories because their nervous system is so dysregulated that they cannot even enter their own memories. And that method was very powerful for them, to remember, and then that way get in contact with their emotion in the therapy room, where I can also do the work of making them feel safety in having emotions, which is the main thing that they need to learn in life, to be able to thrive better.
Okay.
Um, and they were also the ones who actually did the work home and then brought a lot of pictures from their family, which has
Okay.
been very affected by abuse and death and all these
Oh,
things.
okay. So with them, the technique was like working with the family albums and the photograph they would bring,
Yeah,
and like also the photos of them as a kids.
yeah, and from the siblings they didn't see anymore, and from the parents that
Okay.
they didn't
Okay.
see.
Relationship issues also.
Yeah, yeah, because the whole issue stems from like
Okay.
a lot of trauma in childhood.
Okay. I see. I
Hmm.
see. Fantastic. Very interesting. I'm learning a lot, as always. Okay, so Frida, well, I mean, I would go on to talk to you, of
Hmm.
course,
Hmm.
but maybe you come back to Milano because we met in Milan,
I
like
will. I will come back to Italy this summer. Actually, I'm gonna
whenever you
ask
want,
you.
we are here.
Yeah.
But so, would you like to tell us where do you work and how people could connect with you?
Yes, I work in Denmark, in
Hmm.
Copenhagen, and I have been very slow with getting my account or like my website or my Instagram
Um,
up and running,
Where?
where
Hmm.
I want to, put out that I do actually do phototherapy.
Hmm.
Um, so I guess for now, I have an Instagram page that's not
Okay.
very informative at all, but
Okay.
you could add me there. It's just called Frida Felicia, like underscore Frida Felicia. And there
Okay.
will be more soon. And,
Okay, so follow Frida. Frida
yeah,
Felicia. Okay,
yeah.
I'll tag it somewhere.
You know what? I've just thought about something fun where I actually did use the photographs and people thought
Mhm.
it was very useful.
Please.
Was for events where I had to organize something of like
Uh-huh.
bachelorette parties or something where I was like, this is so normative and boring. But then I use the
Okay.
pictures for the people getting married to talk about their love life or their expectations
Okay.
for love or for relationships,
Okay.
stuff like that. And that
And
was
how did
actually
it go?
really good. They were like, they
Better than therapies.
I think they got some important reflections on what they're actually entering and what their own love life is. Yeah, it's been really fun in many different areas, also in group therapy as well.
It does work well in group therapy. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you so much, Frida. Okay, so people be in touch. We will be in touch with you from Frida
Mhm.
Felicia Instagram page, and whatever, if they want to connect with you, like they can also like write me, and I will be pleased to give your contact.
Yes, of course.
And so thanks again for your time and for your knowledge and for your experiences that you've been sharing with us.
Well, thank you, Francesca, for showing me this and for being so good at getting the knowledge out to other interested people.
Thank you, Frida. I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Let's keep in touch.
Yes.
Grazie. Bye, Frida.
Bye.